Hey everybody, welcome back to Torment, Tides of Numenera. We are in the cliff's edge, and we are going to hopefully finish some quests, and we will probably pick up way more, so yeah, let's see how that goes.
Fine.
Eventually in this game we're going to pick up the point, eventually we're going to get to a point where we're going to stop picking up more quests, and we'll actually start knocking ones off, but I think we may still be at the point where we're just picking up more quests. This old man's skin is covered in makeup, painstakingly drawn to resemble dark stone. His eyes widen briefly as he notices you, and his face and neck hardens into actual obsidian for a moment. Then he smiles and nods at you, his features mobile once more. Welcome. Sorry about the stone. Polymorphic flesh modification, you see. I didn't see you walk up, and I assumed you were going to cut my throat and take my chirurgical parlor for yourself. Why would you think such a thing? I do good bit of business here. If I were a younger man looking to make a name for myself in the city, I'd kill me too. My chirurgical... I don't know if it's chirurgical or chirurgical, but we'll go with chirurgical parlor. It's a marvel of the prior world, you see. Just pick an item or a service, pay my outrageous fee, and after only a short to long period of fairly safe but indescribable agony, you walk away with some horrible Numenera bits whirling away inside of you. He pokes a few buttons on the device strapped to his wrist, and lights twinkle across its length. A dark glassy lens focuses on you. Well, interested? Can't help noticing you're a very honest man. Well spotted. It's a side effect of my modifications. Couldn't lie to you if you begged me to. Honesty is usually a hindrance to a businessman, but people seem to like it. How'd you come to own this parlor? It was originally a partnership. My colleagues and I spent 2 years digging it out and getting the whole mess working. Of course, we had to test the drones before we tried them out on anyone else. Customers getting skinned alive on opening day is bad for business. Turns out it was a wise move. Gorn had chosen intelligence modification, and the drones cut off his head to work on it more directly. Mayor picked strength, and the drones sliced off her arms. They defaulted to sever in those days. He smiles fondly. Anyway, 6 partners later, I was the sole proprietor. I worked out the kinks, and here we are, with no fatalities in months. No fatalities in months. Yeah, show me your list of services. Of course. You can get clawed gauntlets, jagged memory, encroaching darkness, blood nanites, the Numenera analyzer, an artificial eyeball. What's the Numenera? Oh man. What is the jagged memory? This is a tricky one. It's a match that fuses with your skin, leaving jagged marks like tattoos. When you attack, you'll always hit your enemy's old wounds, even if they weren't there before. Told you it was a tricky one. It's yours for 110 shins. How about Numenera Analyzer? It's quite safe, most of the time. In almost 3 out of 5 cases, and the procedure couldn't be simpler. The drone simply saw your skull open, shove an implant in the right spot, and seal everything back up. Once they do that, the implant will help you identify the purposes of unknown Numenera. Costs 95 shins, but it pays for itself. Wow. These sound really... I will have to say that for services that involve them cutting you open, installing something, and then closing you back up, it's pretty cheap. Clawed gauntlets. I knew that would catch your eye. We plant long hollow rods in your forearms with steel blades sheathed inside. Just flick your wrist, and out they pop, surprising anyone who mistook you for unarmed. 125 shins for the weapon and the work both. What is... Encroaching Darkness. A beguiling name, isn't it? I'm glad you like it, because I'm not quite sure what it does. It's a living creature, you see. It crawls around in your body while you sleep. Eventually it takes root in your nervous system, and it does something. Could be good, could be bad, could be both. It certainly won't be boring. 100 shins. I'm gonna... Well, let's see what's the blood nanites. It's quite simple. The drones fill your blood with millions of tiny machines that promptly begin devouring you alive until they learn to differentiate between your body and anything that's not supposed to be in there. After that, they do their level best to purge toxins and illnesses from your bodies with every pump of your heart. In case it wasn't clear, this one's really gonna hurt. 95 shins, paid in advance, please. You know what? We'll come back. As tempting as all this sounds, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it's probably harmless, but, or you know what I mean. It's probably actual benefits, but we'll save that for later. I'm not much of a talker, but I like listening. Surprise briefly registers on the cultist's face when she sees you, and she slightly inclines her head in respect. Greetings, beloved vessel. How may I help you? I think someone may have looted that ruined house against the cliff. Did you see who it was? Yes, but I wonder if I can convince you to share something with us in exchange for our help. Will you tell us about your birth? Very well. I awoke miles above the world, falling to my death. You can't be serious, she says, blanching. It's true, without getting into particulars, I survived the fall and came to understand myself. Amazing. None of you were lucky enough to wake up in the bed, were you? Well, deal's a deal.
I'll remember that.
We did see someone looking around the rubble before you arrived. Dirty children, orphans perhaps, were digging through the ruins. I believe they took some food and valuables, but we were trying not to stare. You seem less deferential than some of the other cultists. Why? Not all of us revere your father. We simply honor him for his boundless wisdom and bottomless knowledge. We wish to emulate him, but worship him? No. Who lived in that ruined house against the cliff? A man, but we don't know his name or where he is now. He always took great care to avoid us. Okay, we are trying to find, this quest here. I think a Castoff lived in that house and was killed by the sorrow. And so we're trying to find out what happened to him. When I discovered the body of a young woman in the ruined house, a new reflection began to take shape in my mind. In order to interact with it, I'll need to form a stronger connection. A few of the cultists of the Changing God are loitering near the escaped house. Saw some dirty children. Scavengers picked Castoff's house clean. Someone near the house might be able to tell me if they spotted anyone digging through the rubble. Well, we know about the kids. Okay, so...
How did you fall into the criminal life, Matkino?
One step at a time, Alligern. Just like everyone else. Intentions don't mean skist.
You and I have more in common than I thought.
You won't notice I'm gone.
I kind of figured they had more in common than they admitted.
All right.
Okay, so we're also keeping our eye out for kids that would go around scavenging, which is good because the flesh creeps if you let it.
On it.
Okay, that's creepy. So we are also looking for an escaped slave girl. Okay, let's see. Who are these people? So this looks like it's some sort of, I don't know, like a, possibly a lynching party against the Sticha. And earlier on, we convinced them to stop digging underneath their homes and go somewhere else. But there's actually one still here in town that we walked by. Declaiming to the crowd is a well-dressed but sickly-looking man, a short, dumpy, and unhealthy shade of yellow. Despite this, he has the proud demeanor and the stentorian voice of a much larger man. He booms as you approach. Ah, another likely fellow. Excellent. The people have called for deliverance. from this ravaging Stygius, and a hero has answered. Most courageous of you. Makina says, I know this man. He has hired me many times and paid me nearly as often.
I'll remember that.
Wait, I know you. You're the one who made peace with the Stygia. Commendable, but I'm afraid one of your new friends didn't hear about the end of hostilities. It's running rogue here in Cliff's Edge. If these people get a hold of it, things might go badly, and all your work will have been for nothing. Best if you were to find it first, then return to me and tell me precisely where it is. I'll take it from here. And you'll be rewarded, I promise you. As the head of a slave family, I'll owe you a favor, and my favor carries a good deal of weight. Okay, what do you think about the Stygius? You made peace with them, surely you know them better than I do, but I'll offer my perspective if you like. The vile thing appeared in Cliff's Edge a few days ago, and it's been skulking around ever since. The whole neighborhood lives in fear of it. Why are they so afraid of him? Some will tell you it's because this district is suffering most of the Stygia's digging, houses collapsing on the people, others falling into the sea. There's some truth to that, but the real reason is that the people here have become weak and afraid. They aren't prepared to face adversity. Indeed, if the Stygia didn't exist, I would be tempted to invent them, for they are just what the city needs to stiffen its spine. Sage's Cliffs, our once proud empire, has abandoned its holdings and ceded its territories to the Autochthonous tribes and lazy wild beasts. It's time to take them back, but how can we do that when our citizens have become lazy, timid children? Right, without conflict, but empires only serve the interest of a lucky few. People aren't weak, they only need someone to lead them. Okay, so he's basically stirring things up against somebody that's different in order to get them to rise up together, which is kind of crappy to me. So, but empires only serve the interest of a lucky few. Most people suffer and gain little in return. And how much more would they suffer without the empire? The empire serves all. At least, even the least in a strong civilization is better off than the best of a weak one. Sage's Cliffs had an empire? Indeed, we held all the lands from here to Ornu's Unigron. That was before the slave uprising that brought the slave families to power. Some of us seek to reclaim what we lost. Not a fan of this guy. Let's see, tell me about yourself. I am Jarls Vunken of the House of Vunken, one of the most respected of the slave families. I also have the honor of serving on the council. I don't usually descend to this neighborhood, but in such a crisis one must put their finer feelings aside and do what can for one's city. How nice of him to lower himself to being among the people. Who are the slave families? We are the descendants of the slaves who rose up with Chila the Great. They smashed the oligarchs who ruled the city and replaced their despotism with fair and egalitarian leadership, creating a city where anyone can achieve anything if they only try. Well, okay. See, when he said slave families, I thought slaver families, so maybe he's not quite as bad as I think, but he's still kind of an arrogant jerk. What can you tell me about Cliff's Edge? Alas, I rarely pass through these miserable streets, so I know little about them, but I go where the city needs me. Flirt. Says, it's a very human, very rude sound. And looking at the sky when they look at him. Okay.
Let's do it.
So, I have no intention of telling this guy where the Stygius is, but let's go and talk to the Stygius, which I think is over back here, and see if we can convince him to get out. Oh, and there's a bunch of kids. They might be little scavenger kids. What's this stuff over here? Oh, look at that. There's money laying around.
I'm going.
Hey, Stygius. I'm guessing he's here because of the eggs. Partially hidden in the trash of the dump is a frightened Stygius, though it doesn't look like any other Stygia you've seen. Its chitin is thin and soft, and its claws are small and malformed. It stares at you from its hiding place, chittering. Because of its physical deformities, you can barely understand its speech. Don't hurt, not tell. What are you doing up here? It clicks, and scents revolve around into words in your head. Tunnel live below, but bad claw not dig, not eat. No home, Sticha family. And the scent it uses is one of desolation and abandonment, a great void within the earth. Sent above ground to die. Oh, you were sent up here by the other Sticha? Not good, soft like grub, not strong, not dig, not eat, no worth, trash, rubble, not even nil tunnel. Oh, that's sad. It makes a digging motion, digging its claw into the ground. Then with his other, fans a stubby talon like someone miming a bright flash. Dig makes sparks, eat sparks. Not dig, not make spark, no eat. Hunger. If you can't make sparks to eat, then why haven't you starved to death up here? Baby brown grub feed. It shows you a heap of small electrical devices all drained of energy. Spark shells, spark tubes. It points at itself. It smells of flint and steel. Eat. Its scent is gratitude. What are you doing in this garbage dump? Yellow shell grub steel. Leave here. Not speak. Dangerous. A man with a yellow shell left you in Cliff's Edge? Do you mean the man with the yellow skin?
I'll remember that.
Its odor becomes strong, hard rock mixed with veins of ancient metals, intense affirmation. Are you the Stichus everyone is looking for? It waves its deformed claw in affirmation. The scent of mud, sadness, wafts from it. Aw. Safe return. Okay, so he's...
Ready.
Okay, so he is a, I guess the Stichas, they, what's down here? There's a collapsed tunnel. It seems like the Stichas, they kind of abandon their kind if they're not strong enough to dig on their own.
Yes.
So who's the man with the yellow skin? I didn't quite get that. Oh. Kids.
I'll remember that.
Who I was going to talk to next anyway. A scrawny boy in rags reaches out as you pass. Sir, please, sir. I know you saw the Stichus hiding in the midden. Please don't tell anybody about him, sir. He's not doing anyone any harm. Oh, I know. You saw his hands. They're like human hands. He can't dig like the others. It's not him that's bringing down these houses. Now, I won't tell anyone. Your secret's safe with me. Thank you, sir. You're a lifesaver, sir. Now, if we can only get him to safety. Maybe I can find a way to get him out of here. Could you, sir? That'd be wonderful. If you could find the other Sticha, maybe they'd help him escape. I heard that some of them are down in the underbelly, but I've never seen them myself. I'll try. Thank you. I had a feeling I could trust you. However... Wait, don't go anywhere. I've got something to talk to you about. Good to see you again, sir. How can I help you? Have you and your friends been picking through the ruins near the chirurgical parlor? That was us. I found some food, but we already ate it, and Avina got some kind of a Numenera box. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. You're not going to take it away from her, are you? Don't worry about it. Let me ask you something else. Okay. Is this your house? It doesn't look safe. We know. That's why we stay outside most of the time. Ever since Avina noticed some cracks around the walls, we only go in there to change clothes and stuff. Sk. Says, eyeing the structure doubtfully. Does anyone else live back there? There used to be a lady who lived next door, a nano-sorceress, but she disappeared a while back, and there was a family 2 doors down. We heard them screaming in the night when their house fell into the sea. My sister Nim was friends with their little girl. Can you tell me anything else about the area? Hardly anyone comes through here anymore. It's nice and quiet, I guess, better than the rest of Cliff's Edge. Tell me about your family. Yes, sir, there's 5. Sorry, 4 of us, counting my father. But he's gone to the Bloom, and we don't know when he'll be back. I'm Zeb, and... He points towards a little girl kicking a rock in a circle and an older girl who's playing a flute. You notice that they look considerably more well-fed than Zeb. That's Nim, my little sister. The girl with the flute is Vina. She's not actually our sister, but she's still family, and there's no one else. That's it. Tell me about your father. His name is Zeb 2, Zabak Arulu, and it's been a year at least. He went to work for the Millennia. For a while he sent Shins back, but then they stopped. Haven't heard back from him since. The bloom's like that though. Sometimes it doesn't let anything out. I figure he's just waiting until it opens up again. What do you know about the bloom? My dad always called it a skist-hole, but he said it was a skist-hole full of shins, so he's gonna pull his boots up and wade. He's gonna pull up his boots and wade in. I don't know much else about it. They say it's a monster and people live inside. You can see it from the caravanserai, but they don't let anyone down there. Well, they didn't let me down there anyway. No, I didn't mean to click that again. What do you know about the Millennia? She's the boss in the bloom, the mayor or something. My dad works for her. He's one of the guards. Is Nim okay? This life must be hard on her. She's okay. Doesn't know anything else really. She misses our dad though. She never really knew our mom, so at least she doesn't miss her. Tell me about Avina. She's been with us since Dad left, but she's never said where she came from. Maybe she doesn't know. I'm glad she's here. She notices things, better look out than I am, and she catches a lot of shins with that flute of hers. Farewell. Okay, hey Nim. Little girl in a patched tunic kicks a pebble while reciting a sing-song voice. Joy, 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 sorrow, joy, sorrow, joy, joy, joy. Let's watch her play. Joy, yay, I got 5 in a row. She shrinks back as she realizes she's talking to someone she doesn't know. My brother usually talks to all the strangers. Can I ask you some questions? I guess. Tell me about the game you're playing. It's called Sorrow and Joy. I made it up. You have to kick the rock left, right, without stopping. That's joy. If you kick it twice with the same foot, that's sorrow. 5 joys in a row means you win. 5 sorrows in a row, you lose. Is there a reason you use the word sorrow? I don't know. I just like it. Sorrow, sorrow, joy, joy, joy. Have you been taking things from the ruined house? Are we in trouble? We took some food and Avina found a little magic box. That's all, I promise. Can I ask you about your neighbors? My friend used to live over there, but she... That's okay, Nami, you don't have to talk about that. That's okay. And Avina. The girl stands outside a crumbling old house playing the flute. She wears a simple dress, and her golden hair falls past her shoulders. The melody she plays is gentle and soft, but it somehow carries to every corner of the street. As you approach, she stops playing and smiles up at you with large green eyes. Shins for a song, sir. She plays along with until he's distracted by an insect. Free sample. How much? It's 8 shins for a sad song and 12 for a happy one. Here, play me a happy song. Thank you, sir. This one should give you a lift.
Feels like everything's going to be all right.
Wow. Why are sad songs cheaper than happy songs? Because there are more of them, sir. Can I ask you some questions? Someone saw children playing in the ruins of a collapsed house. Was that you? I had a feeling you were smart, not like most grown-ups. Zeb and I rummaged through the house for something to eat. He got some stale bread and dried fruit, and I found something even better. Here, I'll show you. She shows this metallic cube, but there's something strange about the geometry, as if you weren't quite seeing it in the perspective. It's a trick box. I don't know why, but it just felt right when I picked it up. She twisted it gently this way and that, but the box remains sealed. You can faintly hear something rattling about inside. I haven't figured out how to open it yet, but I will. It's lovely, and I'm sure you'll find the trick of it soon.
Making a note.
She puts it back in her pocket. You feel the same way Zeb does about the Steeches. The poor thing, we're all taking care of it. The other Steech abandoned it, so now it has no family except us. Please don't tell anyone about it. Zeb would die if anything happened to it. Is this your house? Zeb and Nim and I live here, but it's their father's house. He's away. I wish he'd come back and fix it. I think it's going to fall down soon. The house is in bad shape. Those weren't She points to the cracks. Those weren't here before. They're getting wider. We don't go inside anymore except to wash or dress, and then we come right back out. Tell me about Zeb and Nim. They're my friends. They miss their dad a lot, but we still have fun. Zeb watches out for us, and I'm teaching Nim to play the flute. How about yourself? I was from outside the city, but I've been here with Zeb and Nim since before their dad went away, so now I'm from here. Huh. Okay.
Yes.
We might have to come back and talk to her about that device. Right? Find a way to communicate with the shadowy reflection that has appeared in the labyrinth. A little girl named Avina may have taken the object. I should find a way to get it back from her. Let me ask you something. I need to talk about that box you found. Again, you want to take it from me, don't you? I don't want to take it from her, actually. But,
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to later, but for now,
Going.
it says that there's a reflection that we can talk to in the,
Let's go.
back in our mind. Let's see. So, who's this guy? Eridus. First thing you notice about this wiry young man is the golden haze, the glow surrounding him. It sparkles in his eyes and gives his easy grin a warmth that you can feel right down your gut. He spots you and straightens.
I know what you're thinking. How in the world did you survive that crash, Eratus? The answer is, as it always is, backflips. But hold on. How did you know my name? Never mind. Not important. Of course you know my name. I'm Eratus.
I like this guy already. How'd you end up crashing the airship? I'm glad you asked. Yeah, he looks ecstatic. I was climbing up the cliffs to Caravanserai to see how impossible it was when I saw a star falling towards the reef. I knew right then that finding the star was my destiny. But what was I going to do? Climb down? Boring. Already did it the other way. Walk? Walk? Worse, far worse. No fun at all.
Updated my journal.
Then I saw the airship docked over my head. I raced on up, borrowed the ship, and pointed it right at the reef. I don't know what happened next. Despite my expert piloting, the airship steered itself directly at the cliffs. I had no choice. It landed as fast and hard as safely as possible. I never did find that falling star. At this point, someone else has found it, and it's their destiny now. Cheer up, I bet nobody found that star. That's nice of you to say. You're kind, you know that? It's a rare thing these days, very rare. People like you deserve wonderful things. Inspiration strikes his face like lightning, his glow blooms, and he's hard to look at. And I'm going to make sure you get one. Let's travel together. Don't say no. Maybe you can join me another time. I already have too many people with me. Really? I didn't notice that he looks past you, sees Makina for what is apparently the first time. What? Why are you looking at me like that? He takes a breath and tries again. She stares at him, unblinking, and turns to you. Why is he looking at me like that? I could hazard a guess, but I don't think I need to, and you two are going to make such a great couple. Her eyes go wide in horror, then she stares at Eridus. Don't. Really don't. And so much as I have a type, you aren't it. Eridus takes a shuddering gasp, blinks with what appears to be every muscle in his body, and rips his gaze from Makina. What were we talking about? What is that golden glow around you? Where? I still have too many people with me. Maybe you can join me another time. You do? Were they always there? Real sharp this one, a regular Aeon priest. No, I'm an adventurer. Please try to keep up. Good gods. Okay. I'll be here unless I'm not. Oh man.
You want it done right.
Yeah, this is the problem. It's like all the characters are interesting. I want them all in my party. The woman glares at the air above her head, her fingers fretting with a single bead and a long peculiar chain of them. Her Her low, angry muttering resolves into words as you get closer. Foolish boy, shivering at the crossroads, mazed by your choices. Go on and pick beauty, pick strength, pick pleasure, whatever that be. Particulars don't matter, boy. What matters is the choosing, and that you do it. Who are you speaking to? She blinks at the empty air, and her hands steal to a metallic many-faceted bead near the end of the chain. Not you, but I might as well be. Mother Tamaz knows you, lad. Born falling you were, born in flame, shreds of your smoldering call streaming through the air. When you struck ground, your bead first went cold, then hotter as a mother's hatred. Scarcely born you are and learning quick, but you're still uncertain. All boys and girls are, until they start making choices and dealing with the consequences, until they accept the cost of being adults. You make it sound like no choices can possibly be the right one. All choices sting, and the sweetest ones sting the most. You're confused, but that'll change. You'll have your feet under you soon enough. Not all my children are as lucky.
I'll remember that.
This one, she says, showing the bead that she was speaking to before. Pico wants to escape his past. He saved a handful of shins by honest means. That is to say, it's taken him a long time, and he's too busy pissing over the options to spend it. Push him into a choosing path, lad. Do that, and I'll return your call to you, improved through my art, and stronger than when you lost it. I'll talk to him if I find the time, but no promises. Please yourself. Okay.
It's a plan.
So Pico is this guy over here that was trying to decide if he should go and get a modification. Let's talk to him again. You're back. Good. Mother Tamaz sent me. I want to help. Oh, she knows. Of course she knows. That means you know too. Fine, I'm scared, alright? I've had this ugly face, this body, my entire life. I've saved up to change myself, my future. Maybe I can become strong enough to deal with the people who hurt me, or maybe I can fix my face. If I can do that, it can do that, but then I'll still be small. Despite the anger in his voice, tears are shining in the corners of his eyes.
Remember that.
I can only use the machines in the parlor once, understand? It's too expensive. I spent years saving up all this money, and it's not enough to fix me. I want to ask you some questions. I want to know about your past. Where did you get the idea to use the parlor to change yourself? Oh, I thought that maybe you're the one called the Changing God, right? We've met before. 5 years ago, some stupid kids rubbed my face in a mud puddle to fill the crack. His mouth twists. You found me sitting in the puddle. I was upset, and you told me that you changed all the time, and I could too for a price. Don't you remember? That was my predecessor, and he shouldn't have been so careless with his words. You changed. I don't understand. It wasn't bad advice. I wanted a different future, and he helped me find a way to get there. Advice rarely comes without a cost, kid, Allegern says. Let's hope for you it's just money. I could give money, but I don't know. It kind of seems like just getting services is not the it's not the key. Let's talk about your future again. So, you can use the parlor to become so strong that no one will ever bully him again, but that kind of seems... Or use the parlor to change his appearance. You can think of better uses for your money besides changing your appearance. I think that's the one I'm going to go. Huh? Like what? Strength fails, beauty fades. Use that money to get an education at the Order of Truth. I don't know if I like the Order of Truth, but life is too short for worry. Use that money on something fun. Let's go with the first one. I don't know if I believe the Order of Truth, but... Oh, also, it might be your imagination, but seems to be suddenly taking a much greater interest in your conversation with the old man. Okay, let's see. We can get a 75% because we're trained in persuasion. Then we get a free level of get a free level, so he can get up to 75%. Aligarn, oh wow, he can get up to 80. Makina can get up to 65. Let's do this ourselves. And we'll put in a point. Alright, we persuaded him.
I'll remember that.
I know what you're saying, but I worked hard to save up my shins. Why should I give them the Order of Truth? Aligarn says, it's like this, he says, hunkering beside the boy. They're a pack of damn fools, but some of them have a spark of sense in their head. Besides, you pay for the Order's resources, not the company. He nods in your direction. He and I don't always agree, but he's not wrong here, and education's your best bet for a better future. I understand. I guess that's why I was hesitating. I didn't want to spend all that money to temporarily fix half my problem. I'll talk to the Order. Thank you. Okay. Oh. I didn't actually look at what this bonus is. Temporary conditions. Venus Ditty gives us plus 5% evasion and plus 5% on speed tasks. Okay, Mother Tamaz. What now, lad? I need to talk to you about Pico. Aye, what of him? Solved his problem. Have you? Mayhap you did. An education will last him a lifetime, or until his mind fails him, as it's done some. I know you did what you thought was right, but I wonder if the lad will use what he learns to overthink his problems for higher up. Take the call, lad. You earned it. Off with you. You've done enough here. Got a call shield. What is a call shield? Plus 15% evasion, plus 2 might pool. Oh my gosh. That's really good. Okay. Let's put that on. Wow. Okay. Does anybody else in the party need a shield? What has she got? Light melee weapon. It kind of seems like something Aligarn should have. Let's see. Is there anything else here that I've been, I probably need to rest soon. I've been spending a few, points along the way. And what is this? Dominant tides are gold and blue. Okay.
On my way.
Okay, let's see. Where are we? Who have we still have talked to this person here. We still haven't found the little slave girl. Hawker. Yeah, we still haven't talked to any of these people up here either. Let's
Yes.
go see what this merchant here has. Hello, friend. Not a single rumble beneath my feet for hours, and I hear I have you to thank. Now, I hope very much it was thought of my treasures that guided you. Which one has called you here today? Have you seen an escaped slave girl nearby? She gives you an odd look. Don't tell me why you're asking. I don't want to know. There are children running around here all times of the day, but I couldn't tell you one from the other. And as to whether they're escaped or not, well, all children are running from something. Huh. Okay. Let me see what you have for sale. Looks like we've got a bunch of healing type stuff. A grenade. I just assume that anything that goes and does a one-shot attack is some sort of grenade. So more healing stuff. This one is a bonded item that gives +1 training in stealth. Actually, this wouldn't be... Well, I don't know if I care that much about stealth right now, but it wouldn't be bad because I don't use esoteric attacks. Let's see. This one is a training level in lore machinery, a training level in lore natural, -2 on esoteric attacks, +1 damage per effort applied, max +8. Oh, negative effects are... Oh, it was +2 on esoteric attacks, -1 training level in persuasion, and -3 initiative. Nope. I like my persuasion skill, thank you. Although now that I think about it, you only get the negative modifiers for a handful. Let's see. It's funny, I don't actually see a way to get down to these places. You know, they've got like this underground thing, and they've got these eggs, but I don't see a way of getting over there. Got some Memavira goons. Where does this go to? The Fifth Eye Tavern. Tavern to the underbelly. We still have people here to talk to. Well, they mainly just look like Aiden, Tebow, Nano, Benzin, Loss of Self. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have to start taking some notes here. So, I think next time we will go and talk to the remaining people here at the wherever we are at Cliff's Edge. Maybe we'll go into this tavern and see what's going on there, because we still haven't found the escaped slave girl, unless of course she's Avina over here. Let's see, we need to go back to Underbelly and talk to the Steecha there. And we need to... what else do we need to do? We need to go back to... yeah, so we need to go back to the Underbelly to talk to the Steecha there. Oh, bring Eridus back to Master Renio. Oh, because he stole the ship. Right, that guy asked us to find the ship, and then we need to communicate with the shadowy reflection that has appeared in the labyrinth. So we need to figure out a way to get back into the labyrinth to do that one. So yeah, we have quite a few things to take care of, and we will do some of those things next time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Take care.